No one tells you what happens the morning after. Not the morning after a revival, not the morning after a breakthrough, not the morning after the night you finally stopped running and let something in that you had been keeping out for longer than you can remember. Everyone talks about the moment of surrender, the tears, the silence, the weight that lifts. But no one prepares you for what comes next. When the alarm goes off and the world outside is exactly the same as it was before, and you have to figure out how to carry something invisible into a life that was built entirely around things you could see and touch and measure. The coffee still has to be made. The emails still have to be answered. The same people who exhausted you yesterday are still there, with the same habits and the same words and the same ability to make you feel like nothing has changed. And for a moment, just a moment, you wonder if last night was real. You wonder if what you felt was just emotion, just the right song at the right time, just exhaustion making you soft in a way that daylight will harden back into something manageable. Because that is what daylight does. It is practical. It does not leave room for things that cannot be explained in a sentence.
But then something happens. It is small, almost embarrassingly small. Not the kind of thing you would put in a testimony or share with anyone without feeling like you were overstating it. Maybe it is the way the light comes through the window at an angle you have seen 1,000 times before. And for one inexplicable second, it feels like it means something. Maybe it is a moment of patience that surprises even you, a reaction that softened before it could harden, a word that didn't come out the way it always had before. Maybe it is simply a quiet that finds you in the middle of noise, not the absence of sound, but the presence of something underneath it, steady and unhurried, like a current beneath water that looks still on the surface. And you realize, slowly and without any dramatic announcement, that something actually did change. Not the world, not the people in it, not the circumstances that were difficult yesterday and are still difficult today, but the one experiencing all of it. The one who used to stand in the middle of everything, feeling fundamentally alone, even in crowded rooms, even in conversations, even in the middle of laughter. That one is different now. Not louder, not more certain about all the things that used to keep you up at night. Just less alone, in a way that doesn't need to be explained to be real.
And that is the part no one warns you about. Not the cost of surrender, but the quiet, persistent, unhurried work of what comes after it. The way presence doesn't announce itself every morning with trumpets and certainty, but returns in small moments, in ordinary light, in the pause before a reaction, in the inexplicable sense that you are being accompanied through something you were never meant to walk through alone. It doesn't demand that you have everything figured out. It doesn't require that you stop doubting or questioning or struggling. It simply remains, present in the places where you are most human, most uncertain, most aware of how little you actually control. And maybe that is the truest thing about what it means to carry something the world cannot see. It doesn't make you extraordinary. It doesn't lift you above the ordinary weight of living. It simply means that in the middle of all of it, the coffee and the emails and the people who still exhaust you, something is there that wasn't there before. Quiet, patient, real. And on the mornings when you almost forget, it finds a way to remind you. Not with noise, with light, with a stillness that somehow feels alive, with the unmistakable sense that you are not, and never again will be, truly alone.
And the question is no longer whether it happened. The question is what you will do with what was given to you in that quiet night when you finally stopped running. And whether you will trust it enough to let it change not just how you feel, but how you live.